really, I mean, the name again, Pump Up the Volume. They really pumped up their performances, and they were very well done. I don't know how anybody didn't get an Oscar nomination at all for this role, for these movies, or for this movie. Samantha Mathis. This was her first motion picture. She went on to co-star with Christian Slater again in another great action film called Broken Arrow. She would also be featured in, I think it was called Girls Don't Cry or something. I can't remember the name. It was a movie with, I believe River Phoenix was in it. I cannot remember right now to save the life of me. But it was another great indie film. And she was also the princess Daisy in the Super Mario Brothers live action movie with Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo, if there's any credit to that. But again, she's a very credible actress. Her mother was Bibi Besh, who played Carol Marcus in Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, and a lot of people were like, "How she never get to be a big actress? She must not have been that good or trouble." No, she stopped. She walked away from acting to take care of her mom, who was sick with cancer. But again, her and Christian Slater's chemistry, even when it came to Broken Arrow, she was just great in that movie. Her and Slater just had a great chemistry, and it's sad that it didn't, neither one of because they had their ups and downs in their career, but they would have been great, one of those working relationships that you would always see them in together or something. Again, like when it came to right off the top of my head, Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta, even though they did they did a great movie called Grease, and of course they did another film that was Two of a Kind, which was not that good of a movie, but they still had great chemistry, and even in interviews together, they were always great together. Just they had a natural chemistry and love for each other, and that's something that's even kind of lost these days. I mean, the only other persons I can say would be that that's been in a lot of movies together with maybe Jennifer Lawrence and oh gosh, what's his name? Just did that movie with Lady Gaga. I'm drawing a blank. Bradley Cooper. Rocket the Raccoon. No, they had natural chemistry together, and they did like at least 3 or 4 films together. Mostly with the same director, and that's rare to have that natural chemistry and work well together and be able to do multiple films together. But I digress. But again, this film, just as I said, it has a lot of great memories. My brother and I sitting around watching it on a boring day, we'll sit back and we're like, God, let's throw and pump up the volume. Because my brother had the VHS, and we sit there and we watch it. And I've seen this movie countless times. I cannot give you an exact number of how many times I've seen this movie. It's a lot. But it's just one of those staples of the 1990s. Of course, when it came to New Line Cinema really was starting to come into its prominence of its own as a studio because of, the Nightmare on Elm Street films being its bread and butter, but it was also able to open up and broaden its horizon with more films, and great films at that. I mean, New Line Cinema really gave us a lot of great films back in the 90s. The same that and Miramax. Miramax and New Line Cinema really shaped cinema in the 90s when it came to their movies. And Robert Shaw, who was in charge of New Line Cinema, really, he really, there towards the end, had to, he eventually had to sell it to Ted Turner, and Ted Turner, kept, allowed it to still be what it was. But then, of course, when Turner merged with Time Warner, and Time Warner finally kind of just turned New Line Cinema into just a label and branding label. It's not the same, and it doesn't. I mean, the last big thing that New Line Cinema did was the Lord of the Rings films, and New Line Cinema was always a low budget thing, and then of course doing from there to Lord of the Rings, and pump up the volume in between. Was one of those staples of the old New Line Cinema library that I don't even know if it's even able to, or even, I know it's probably being able to stream, but I don't know about the physical copy of if Warner Brothers has got it in their archive collection, or out there you can buy it in a multi-pack or buy it separately somewhere. I'm sure you can, but if you get a chance, folks, please check this movie out. Especially if you're a young man or a young woman who, don't think that today's films are talking to you. This film will talk to you. It will talk to you about everything. I mean, again, it tackles issues of homosexuality, and dealing with, the struggles of, trying to be yourself, and teen pregnancy, teen drug use. I mean, you'll see people you went to school with in this film, like I did. I mean, I would point out, oh God, I knew her. You'll look at, or I knew him. I knew that type of guy. You'll literally see your high school life, unfold. And the great thing is that it doesn't, even though you see cassette tapes and record players, and CDs were out by that time, but they weren't full mainstream until like the mid '90s. But they really didn't. You can't really keep this dated. It's not. I mean, it works even to this day. I will tell you that it will work. I can't wait to show my oldest this movie and everything. He's 19, and I'm about ready to show him this film. And he's really, I can see, the struggles that, he, even at that time, at that age, even for myself, I struggled to find out my identity in the world. And, hell, even as an adult, we still do. But again, folks, I really encourage you to, and especially at the end of this film really, speaks to you, and he tells you, in the end of the film and everything, he's telling everybody that, seize the air. You've got YouTube. You don't have to have a pirate station anymore. You can talk and speak your mind. And, as long as you do it, with some creativity, but do it with sense, ability, and with the promise that you're not out there to try to hurt feelings or tear people down, but you want to tell people what you think. It's great to tell people what you think and how you feel, but it's not. The words of freedom doesn't have to include hatred towards each other. And this movie tells you that. I mean, this movie, it comes out, tells you, that, sometimes you're not a messed up person. Sometimes you could be in a messed up situation around messed up people that'll make you feel that way. So, again, I don't mean to be on a soapbox, but, again, this movie really speaks. It's one of those rare films that, one, doesn't get enough credit for shaping a generation and helping people, and it doesn't get enough credit for being just that damn good of a film. It is that damn good of a film, and I will put it up there, and at least in the top 10 great movies of the 1990s. Was it a moneymaker? No. It was not a box office bonanza, to say the least. But the writer-director, Moyle, really, and he didn't do much film even after this. He didn't do many theater, which is sad, because I would have loved to seen him do a follow-up to this movie. I would love to see what happened to Happy Harry Audon. How much time did he spend in jail or detention hall or whatever, and what would happen? And, did he grow up and lose that voice or lose that edge? That'd be great to see. I would love to see a sequel to Pump Up the Volume. But again, I have to say, if you have a teenager who, has got to be at least 17, we'll be a little responsible, folks. If you're 17 years old, because legally you can go to see an R-rated film at 17, but, and watch it, with new eyes. And don't watch it just because it's just got cuss words in it or it's got crude humor in it. Just watch it for what it is and what the message that it's trying to send, because it was written in the perspective of a teenager struggling to find his place in the world, he or she, or they, and it works in so many levels. And I don't give many ratings on here, but I'm giving this movie, and this movie will always, to me, will be 5 paws. It's just that damn good. That's my, that's my top ratings, 5 paws. And, like, it's the equivalent of 5 stars. But that is my firm belief that this film is also one of the best movies to ever come out of the 1990s. As I said, it came out in 1990, and it just, resonates its message throughout the way. It's that it talked to my generation, and I hope that other generations find this film and understand the message. That it's just not a regular movie, but it's a movie that's here to try to guide you. So, enough of that. I'm off the soapbox. Again, folks, if you haven't seen this movie, do see it. And if you had, what are your memories when you watched it? What is your favorite moment in this movie? I can never pinpoint what was my favorite moments in this film, because it woven so well when it came to the cuts and the edits, and it's just, I'd have to say, just everything of this film is my favorite. I don't have a favorite scene, but what is your favorite moment? Put it down in the comment section down below. And again, folks, this is one of those moments that I love doing when I talk about film and the memories that I had with my brother. And I do hope on this day that this airs, that I did it justice enough, and that I hope that you all enjoyed this video. I said I just wanted to touch on it and maybe give a little bit of a message too on a soapbox. But again, Christian Slater was absolutely an amazing actor back in them days. He still is. And again, this movie just had a great cast, and it just, in the soundtrack, everything just worked. So one of those movies where everything just worked together, and it was nicely edited, nice tight edit. And it was just a movie to where it makes you sit back and think. And that's not a bad thing every once in a while, to sit back and enjoy a movie and think. All right, folks, on that note, heading out. I want to thank you all again for watching. Please hit that thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Share away, folks, on all social medias that possible. This episode, and also, folks, do not, and I do repeat, do not forget that we will be doing some Halloween videos here in the month to come, and hopefully I'll have a review for the upcoming Halloween film. Again, I love this movie, and Sean, I'm not going to lie to you, man. I'm always going to miss you. I love doing anything that has to do to give you a good salute. And don't forget, don't take crap from anybody, folks. Speak your mind. And always remember, eat your cereal with a fork, and do your homework in the dark. And most importantly, thanks for watching. And please keep on watching, folks. Bye.
Hi everybody, this is Amy at 97 FM in Springfield, and my show is Radioactive. Can anyone out there hear me? The silence, let it out. We're 16, but I'm not asleep. Are you running the streets? Call the real runaway. KCAT Los Angeles, California.
This is I am.
Radio
Are you
Free
next to
Nixon.
no protection? Now
We
from
are
New
the
Jersey.
boys. Hi, you're on the air. Turn on the truth.